I know y'all are gonna clock me for this shitty ass wig, but it cost me a lot of money, so I figured I'd use it. So today's look is Wonder Girls. Specifically, it was inspired by Yubin, but really a lot of them have like this kind of look. Oh man, let me take this shit off. You have the really smoky pink upper eyelid, and then you've got that interesting like bit of glitter here at the bottom. Unfortunately, because I think they actually use like jewels under their eyes, but I do not have that, so I'm using some like sparkly eyeshadow. Like, it's the same effect, so it's been a while since I've done an eye look, so I'm like real excited. But I'm not wearing the wig during the tutorial, so it's not gonna like bother you anymore, I promise. If y'all want to point me in the right direction to some like decent wigs, then please do so.
Alright, doing a voiceover because I can. So I'm gonna be mixing this Snail BB cream from It's Skin and this foundation from Loreal. I've been liking to mix the Loreal one with all my other foundations and BB creams and stuff because, well, one, it color corrected to make it a little bit deeper because I am getting a little bit of color in the summer, and also it adds a bit of like long wear to it, I suppose. I'm putting a light layer of that. I'm putting a light layer of that all over the face, and then I'm upping the coverage with this pony effect concealer. That way, I feel like I use less foundation, I suppose. And most of the coverage is being is coming from the concealer is what I'm trying to say. Oh, sorry. Alright, and then I'm using the separate concealer from Clio on these spots on my neck. I don't know what's going on. I think there's this mask I used from CosRX that's like causing me to break out, so I'll stop that. But yeah. Then I'm going to set the whole face with this Pony Effect powder. This is not an HD powder. It's more of like a powder with a little bit of coverage, I suppose. So I'm just putting that all over. And I'm going to use a smaller brush to go under my eyes and on my eyelids. And a little bit on my eyebrows as well so that any brow products glide on a little bit easier. Then to start off the eyes, I'm going to use my Pony Effect eyelid primer. Pixi, I have no idea. Primer and to prime the lips because we're using bright colors. And then I'm going to go into this Heimish palette. I really didn't need to use that one. I could have used any warm brown, honestly, but I'm using a warm brown in my crease as a transition color, and I'm going to blend it out a little bit. And then I actually used the pinks from the Heimish palette, but they weren't that bright to me. So I'm using this bright pink shade from Etude House. And that's going to go all over the mobile lid, and then I'm going to blend out the edge so it kind of blends with the transition color. And then I'm going to go into this sort of mauve shade, and I'm going to put that more towards the lash line. We're creating kind of like a gradient from like this bright pink to this more like muted pink. And then on the outer corners, I'm going to go in with like a sort of almost like a brick red, I suppose, but it still has a bit of pink to it. So it's like it, connects with all the other pinks that we were using. And of course, I'm going to blend it out. And then I'm going to go into this kind of deep gray brown. It's a very neutral, deep brown shade. And I'm going to kind of line my eyes, sort of, but it's mostly just smudging it onto the lash line. You really don't have to be too precise with this one. I'm gonna go back into that shade, the sort of brickish red, the red brick shade. I'm gonna put that on the lower lash line, and then I'm gonna line the upper waterline as well as the outer corner of the lower waterline with this brown Etude House Play 101 pencil. Sorry, not stick. I know. Finally, I have lash curlers. These are ones from Etude House. They're pretty good. I'm using that to curl my lashes before I put on some mascara. I've had this one for a while, so the form is a little bit more dry, so I feel like it latches onto the lashes better and adds more shape. But I actually didn't put it all over the lashes. I kind of just put it on like the outer corners to give like a winged out sort of shape. And for the bottom lashes, let's see, I got mascara on my upper lid. That's not what you want. That's not what you want. But I'm rubbing off most of the product from the mascara so that my lower lashes aren't like loaded. I just want to lightly coat them. And then I'm going to use these false lashes that are kind of more like half lashes. So I'm putting them on the outer corners because they're, like I said, I like that really winged out look. And it looks like I was eating it, but no, I put it in my mouth and I was blowing warm air so that the glue dries faster. And then I'm taking it back. I'm going back to my old eyebrow routine by using my two NYX eyeshadows to fill in my brows. Haven't done this in a while, but I love it. It makes it really quick, but the result is more of like a more natural brow. I'm using the darker shade to shape my brow and fill out the outside, and then using the lighter shade of gray to fill in the insides. And then I'm going to color my brows because I noticed Yubin has more light, well, obviously one to like match her hair color, but I like the way it looks with like the eye makeup, so I'm lightening my brow hairs using the Ssinstealer eyebrow mascara. And then I bought this a long time ago, but I never featured it because I never felt like I had a purpose to use it. But these are liquid eyeshadows from Etude House with their collaboration with Wedding Peach White or something like that, I don't know. I'm using it on my lower lash line in the center to add some sparkle because I don't, like I said earlier, I don't have jewels. But as you can see, it's like a really pretty sheen. It's like extremely glittery, and apparently you can use this like on your collarbones and on your body as well or something. You have to shake them before you use them, otherwise it's just like water. And then I'm gonna go into that Heimish palette and take that silver sparkly shade, or it was more like a white sparkle glitter sort of shadow, and I'm gonna put that over to kind of intensify it. And then I'm gonna contour my nose. The other day I was watching, I think I was on Huda Beauty's Instagram, and then I saw some girl's video where she was like really contouring. She was like really going in. So like I kind of wanted to imitate that because in this video I had my fillers taken out, my nose fillers. So I really wanted to contour my nose to make it look taller. So this is what I'm doing. It's gonna look really extreme at first, but I promise it will all work out. And then I'm using this brightening powder from this Pony Effect palette to add brightness under my eyes to cover my dark circles and to connect my cheek to like more my nose so that that area looks more flat and therefore making my nose look slimmer. You can kind of see what I'm talking about right here. If the shade under my eyes kind of matches like what's on the sides of my nose, it kind of makes the area look flatter, therefore making the space of my nose look narrower. And then I'm going to blend it out, make sure it's all blended out, because I know y'all like to complain that my nose contour is too harsh. Not everyone. And then I'm going to go use this MAC highlighter to highlight the very tip of my nose. Then I'm going to add warmth to my face using, again, the Pony Effect palette. Not so much as like a contouring effect, but more of like adding warmth around the perimeters of my face. Yubin has quite a bit of a tan, naturally I suppose, but I kind of want to recreate that effect by using bronzer. And then I'm going to use the highlighter that's in the palette to give me a more natural highlight, I suppose. You don't really need to, but I just did because I wanted to. And then I'm going to use the blush in the palette, which is kind of like a coral peach blush. It's a very faint color, but yeah, I'm using that on my cheeks. And I don't know if you noticed, but there's like brown lines coming across my screen. I don't know what that is. I think it has to do with my lighting, but I have to find a way to fix it. But finally, for my lips, I'm going to prep my lips with some lip balm. And then I'm going to use this really bright pink lipstick on the inside. If I prime the lips with a lip balm, it helps you know, make the lipstick look less harsh and makes it more natural looking, I suppose. You can see the effect right here. And that's it.
So that's the finished look. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Oh my god, sorry for my stubble. If you're curious as to what products I was using, I always list them down below in the description box, as well as my Snapchat and my Instagram, both of which you can follow me there. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.